Okay, I want to welcome everybody tonight to this exciting meeting. We have an auditorium full of retirees who we are honoring tonight, and some from the Did I go off? So if we can all stand, and Mrs. Bossi will lead us in the pledge. So in the past, we've had our board, we honored the honorees, the retirees. Tonight we thought that if you didn't want to stay around for the whole board meeting, that we would honor the retirees tonight and the ASEP children. So that's first on our agenda. So Stephanie Wright, if you want to be head of community ed, if you want to come up and show us the graduates that have done a wonderful job.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Wright. I am the coordinator for their Alternative High School Equivalency Preparation Program. That is what ASEP stands for. It runs Monday through Thursday from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. at East Senior. However, as you know, this year we've had some trials and tribulations that all of us have faced. And tonight I would like to give recognition to 7 students who not only, to put it mildly, blew up my phone all last spring, all summer, all fall, all winter, and up until this night, wanting to know how they could get their diplomas, and they made it happen. I only gave them the tools, the teachers only gave them the tools, but they are the ones who put all the work in, whether it meant coming into my office late at night to do their testing, whether it meant coming for packet pickups, computer pickups, me dropping off paperwork, picking up paperwork, moms and dads driving them for all of this. And then on top of it, when the world shut down again on November 18th, 2020, they drove to Wyoming County, Cattaraugus County, and Genesee County to take their tests because they couldn't do it here in Erie County. So this is a huge deal for them tonight to say that they've earned their high school diploma. So at this time, I would like to call the following up. The first is Nicholas Bauer. Nick will be attending barber school, and Nick's mom did call me in the fall and said, I'd like to know who is this person who keeps telling my son's school is closed. That was me. So, but he did it. You did it. Congrats, buddy. Sarah Bosco. Sarah plans to attend college after this. Sarah is our little Miss Sunshine. When we were feeling defeated, she's the one who told us to keep going and brought the sunshine in. So congratulations. James Crawley. James Crawley will be attending trade school. This is a really big deal for James because he was supposed to take his exam in February of 2020. And when he went to go take the exam, they told him his paperwork wasn't right. Well, it was right. And they called him and they apologized, and then we said, we're so sorry. Come back March 17th, 2020, and you'll get that exam. So this is a huge deal that he got to get this. Good job, bud. Alexandria Duncan, or as I call her, Lexi. Lexi has already been accepted to ECC. Lexi called me in the fall and said, hey, I heard you run this program. I want in. And she finished. Very good. And Jacob Page. Jacob will be attending trade school, correct? And he just took his exam, and we already know he passed, so congratulations. It's been a joy having you this year. All right? Unfortunately, due to unforeseen family circumstances, last second, Dominica Mariani and Randy Newman could not attend this evening, so I'll be delivering their certificates to them, but congratulations to them as well. And thank you so much for all attending. I have two teachers, ooh, that was really loud, I'm sorry. I have two teachers who came every single night, whether to prepare, make packets, get on the computers, even when the kids didn't show up sometimes. And that is Krista Bovin and Caleb Gresham. Could you please stand up? Without these two, these kids would not be here. I just make sure the kids get here. They're the ones who get them to the test. So thank you very much, ladies.
And Stephanie, thanks for running this wonderful program. It's really a great chance for the kids. Okay, now Mr. Bystrat will introduce the retirees.
Good evening, everyone. Just one more round of applause for all of our students at the asset program. Middle of a pandemic, they still managed to make it work, so that's not resiliency. I'm not sure what is. So, well, welcome. I think Ms. Bears actually said this earlier, but this is actually one of my favorite. This is one of the best board meetings that we have, and unfortunately, we didn't get to have it last year for obvious reasons, but we get to have it this year. All right, and obviously, there's a lot of people that maybe would have been here last year, or maybe even this year too, that couldn't be here for a variety of different reasons. And we're going to say all their names and recognize everyone. So I did just want to talk just some housekeeping issues here as well. Obviously, we know where the exits are. You came in that way. There's restrooms just outside the door. Ladies' room over there, men's room over there. The way we want to do this, honestly, some people might be comfortable coming up on stage. Normally, we put everybody on stage and they all cram in there. Obviously, that's not going to work. But if you still want to go up on stage, Mrs. Lotze, actually, our district clerk, had put some red pieces of tape. So kind of the way we can do this, I'm going to start off by reading last year's list, and then we'll kind of go through that, and then we'll start over and do this year's list. And I have a couple of special names at the end that I'd like to read. But if you'd like to, just go to the first piece of red tape over there and kind of work your way back over here. You don't have to go up there. We won't embarrass you or anything if you don't. And then once the stage is filled up, we can take pictures, and then they can leave and just pass by Mrs. Latza and come right back to your seats then, okay? So any questions? Now we're in a school, so I can say that. Raise your hand if you have questions. You don't have any questions? Okay, one person, okay. All right, so as I said, this has obviously been an interesting past 16 months. And one of the things I always like to remind people of this, because I think if you work in a school district, especially as long as some people that are on this list have 40 plus years, unbelievable, you tend to forget, hopefully you don't, but it's easy to forget the level of impact that working in a school district has on a society. All right, I think there are a few other institutions within a society that have as much impact for as long. It's really never ending. I'm a really big fan of the whole idea of like systems theory. Everything's kind of interconnected, and butterfly flaps its wings over here, and it shows you something over there. There's a tornado, across the world, and I really do believe that. I think you come in, you do your job every day, but you don't see it as a job. You see it as serving kids. That whole idea of service, and we are we're in the kid business here, let's face it, and service to our children. But really, we're serving their families, we're serving the community in doing that. And again, it goes on and on, it's endless. And maybe this isn't news to you, but I don't ever want you to lose sight of that. You made a difference. You showed up every day for your career in West Seneca, and you impacted kids positively that are going to go out into the world being better for having known you, for having interacted with you, whatever your role was, right? The thing about schools, too, is we don't have extra people laying around. Everybody that's here, if you're here, you're working, you're doing something to help our kids. And every role is, in my opinion, equally as important, because every role has to be fulfilled in order for the system to work When it doesn't, then things break down, but that's why we're here for each other as a school community, to be able to work and make sure that we maximize our ability to be able to serve our kids. All right, you don't have to, for me personally, I don't have to go back any further than I can tell you the name of my kindergarten bus driver, his nickname anyway. All right, I remember that person. I love going to the Students of Excellence dinner every year and finding some student who's a senior who, instead of grabbing the teacher they had in their junior or senior year, grabs their second or third grade teacher. That person had that much of an impact that they wanted to recognize that individual all those years later. I was in kindergarten a long time ago, and I remember my bus driver's name because I looked forward to starting and ending the day with him. He was a great guy. His nickname was Ferdy, as I used to say, although his real nickname was Birdie. I just couldn't say the B properly, so we'll just get past that. But anyway, my point is that you're making a difference, and you did make a difference, and I just want to thank everyone for their years of service to our district. So speaking of years of service, I'm going to start off now. This is the people that actually retired with us at some point last year. We do have the total years of service that person was with us, the longevity. Now this is just in-district service, okay? Some folks have had service in other areas, maybe working in another district or something along those lines, but this is our in-district service. So when I say your name, you can either stand up, you don't have to stand at all, you may not even be here, some people aren't here obviously, or you can come up on stage, that's totally up to you. We're a small enough group here that I think that we'll be comfortable no matter what. So, and despite the fact that Mrs. Latza printed this up in extremely large font, I still need the glasses to be able to read these names here today. So we're going to go ahead and start off. This is last year, our 1920 retirees. Margaret Custer Zeman. She was a cleaner with our Buildings and Grounds Department, and she actually has 6.2 years of service with us. I don't believe she's here today, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. If we just want to give a round of applause after each name. Sandra Smazniak, she was a lunch monitor at Northwood, and she had 10.4 years of service with us. William Sweet, he was a laborer, worked with us in our Buildings and Grounds Department, 12.3 years of service. Paul Galczynski, grounds worker, Buildings and Grounds out of East Senior, 14.8 years of service. I'm not clapping because I'm keeping my finger on the page so I can tell where we are. I don't want to lose my spot, okay? Dolores Amico, she was a nurse over at Allendale, 15.6 years of service. Patricia DiSturco, she was a library media specialist at Northwood, 17.8 years of service. Chuck Salva, he was a school psychologist over at West Middle School. He actually worked a few other places as well, but 18.8 years of service. Tom Shriver worked right here in this building as a special education teacher, 18.8 years of service. Tom, there you are. Kathy McLaughlin, she was a cook over at East Middle, 20 years of service. Sharon Liberto, she was a cleaner in our Buildings and Grounds Department, 20.2 years of service. Patricia Jarrell, teacher aide out of Winchester, 20.3 years. Congratulations. Janice McCullough, she was an LPN over at East Middle School, 20.3 years of service. Debbie Shinta, she was a teacher aide out of East Senior, 21.1 years of service. Barb Sonnenfeld, she was a certified occupational therapy assistant out of Northwood, 21.4 years of service. Heidi Salamone, teacher aide out of Clinton Street Elementary, 21.6 years. She's waving in the back. This is at least a little like The Price is Right. Sandra Malik, she was an assistant cook over at West Elementary, 21.8 years of service. She here? There she is.
Mr. Vice Chair, can I just excuse you for a minute? When your name is... No? Oh, for next... Oh, excuse me. Never mind. Never mind.
Barbara Hacker, cook out of East Senior, 21.9 years of service. Sue Altman, teacher aide out of Allendale, 24.3. Hi, Sue. Josette Green, or Jody Green, teacher aide at East Middle School, 24.7 years. Catherine Graham, teacher out of Allendale Elementary, 24.8 years. Rita Simon, West Elementary teacher, 24.8 years. Rita, I know I saw you. There you are. Deborah D'Alessandro, music teacher out of West L, 25.8 years of service. There she is. Judith Rebids, registered nurse out of Winchester Elementary, 26 years of service. Ellen Stockert, assistant principal right here at West Senior for 26.8 years in the district. Lisa Wells, teacher over at East Middle School, 27.8 years. Hi, Lisa. Rick Malaka, phys ed teacher over at West Middle School, 28.4 years of service. Sandy Pollock, she was a principal clerk typist over at district office in the business office, 28.5 years of service. Lori Pepsel, speech teacher out of Winchester, 29.8. I think she's here. There she is. Hi, Lori. Congratulations. Jean Komorowski, Clinton Street Elementary teacher, 30.3 years. She's here. There she is. Kathy Honey Sweetie Baby Foster, clerk typist out of Northwood Elementary, 35 years of service. Phyllis Honan, a clown clerk typist in the food services department, 33.3 years of service. Maura Cooley, special education teacher out of Northwood, 33.8 years. Hi, Maura. Paul Whitey Ratter, head custodian, East Senior, 34.4 years. I knew we saw him over there. Dennis Hall, laborer within buildings and grounds, 39.8 years of service. And last but certainly not least, Marilyn Wagner, she was a cleaner at through buildings and grounds, 41.3 years of service. Congratulations to all of our 2019-2020 retirees. And it's interesting when I say congratulations. My father one time had said to me, I don't know if it's a congratulations. And I just thought to myself, no, it truly is. It truly is. Congratulations on just a job well done, on serving our students, and on moving into the next chapter of your lives. So I'm just going to tell everyone, congratulations. Very proud to have you, having been served our students alongside you over your time in the district and my time in the district. So one more round of applause for 1920. Okay, we're going to switch things up a little bit here for our 2020-2021 retirees. Now, the 2019-20 retirees actually had gotten some little tokens, gifts from Mrs. Latza. Our 2021 have not received that yet. Mrs. Latza, I'm just thinking when I call their name, even if they don't want to go on stage, maybe they can just come circulate around. This is going to take a little bit of coordination. I'm hoping there's a phys ed teacher in the house that can help direct this, but there's not. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read your name. So again, little different directions here. We want to make sure that you get what we have to give you there. We're going to start off with Margaret Janicki. She was a bus driver, 6.8 years of service. Gary Grosjean, another bus driver, 11.8 years of service. Yep, he's coming. Don Mendola, security officer, keeping us all safe, 13.3 years of service. Ellen Majeski, clerk typist in district office, 14 years of service. Michelle Morlock, clerk typist out of East Middle, 15.7 years of service. Mike Klubeck, television technician out of the technology department, 15.8 years of service. Donna Heaton, she was a senior clerk typist in district office, 17.5 years of service. Cynthia Nagurney, she was a lunch monitor out of Allendale, 17.7 years of service. Dawn Nowinski, bus driver, 17.8 years of service. Anne Marie Ralph, she was our school lunch manager, 18.2 years of service. I know Anne Marie's here. There she is. William Morrissey, was a teacher aide out of West Senior, 19.8 years of service. Bob Piskin, head custodian, Winchester Elementary, 19.8 years of service. Judy Rabb, teacher out of West Senior, 19.8 years of service. Raymond Wassinger, teacher out of West Senior, 19.8 years of service. George Olmstead, he's a teacher over at West Middle School, 20.4 years of service. Pamela O'Neill, teacher aide out of Northwood, 20.5 years of service. Patricia Kakami, she was a food service helper out of Winchester, 20.8 years of service. Colleen O'Connor, teacher out of West Senior, 20.8 years of service. Diane Dickey, teacher aide out of East Middle, 21 years of service. Darlene Stratton, teacher aide out of East Senior, 21 years of service. Deborah Schultz, teacher aide out of East Middle School, 21.1 years of service. Mike Chase, grounds worker, 21.3 years of service. Lindsay Powers, she was a teacher aide out of Northwood, 21.8 years of service. Sharon Wright, a teacher out of West Elementary School, 22.8 years of service. Patricia Mudleski, teacher out of East Middle School, 23.8 years of service. Wayne Schreiner, grounds worker, crew chief, buildings and grounds, 24.7 years of service. Joyce Tomzak, she was a bus attendant out of our transportation department, 25.4 years of service. Linda Brooks, teacher out of West Middle School, 25.8 years of service. Roseanne Wilson, clerk typist, Northwood Elementary, 25.8 years of service. Cheryl Lane, teacher out of East Middle School, 26.7 years of service. Margaret Komazinski, clerk typist out of Clinton Street Elementary, 27.8 years of service. James Kuhn, teacher out of West Middle School, 28.5 years of service. Christine Archer, bus driver out of our transportation department at 28.6 years of service. Elizabeth Joya, senior clerk typist, West Senior, 29.1 years of service. Cheryl Anderson, cleaner, buildings and grounds, 29.1 years of service. Nora Murnane Robertson, teacher out of West Senior, 29.8 years of service. Lynn O'Connor, teacher out of East Middle School, 29.8 years of service. Elizabeth Fernandez, teacher out of East Senior, 30.8 years of service. Raymond Ball, teacher out of East Middle School, 31.8 years of service. Marta Killian, teacher out of Clinton Street Elementary, 32.1 years of service. And Darcy Byer, teacher out of Clinton Street Elementary School, 46.8 years of service to our students.
Mr. Bystrack, I just want to comment that I had the privilege of approving of the employment of all of these folks except 7. And you have served us well. I'm so sorry to see you go, but thank you so much. I've seen you through.
Mine'd like a steel trap, Mrs. Dalvo. So if I could just for a moment, folks, there are 2 names that I would like to read off of this list. 2 people that were with us that have retired over the past couple of years, and not to dampen the mood, but I think it's very important that we recognize them maybe in a special way. Lisa Bender, she was a lunch monitor at Winchester. She passed away in January of this year. And also Jake Miller, East Middle head custodian, May of this year, he had passed away. Lisa was with the district for 20.7 years, and Jake was with the district for 16.3 years. I think if we clap loud enough, folks. Privileged to serve with them as well. So just if I could just say, again, I know I keep talking about service and talking about the impact that you have, but also to your colleagues too. I really haven't talked a lot about that, but the level of institutional knowledge that is walking out of our doors, you cannot underestimate the significance or the importance of the culture that is created by the people that show up every day and here to support our students, but not only our students, to support one another. That's one of the biggest things too. Nobody comes here, if they don't like coming here. People come here because they like to be here. They like being a part of this community. They like supporting our students. They like supporting their colleagues. And I think that's one thing we do very well here in West Seneca. So again, just on behalf of the district, I'd just like to offer our sincere thanks and appreciation to all of your years of service, the time and energy that you put in supporting not only our students, but one another and helping to create this wonderful culture.
And hard work in this auditorium right now. And just remember, so if you have any desire, and you can talk to your colleagues hired last year and just get some hints on how to keep yourself busy. And usually teachers have an easy way to keep themselves busy because we're used to go, and this mic is not doing too well. Okay, so congratulations to all of you. I don't want to necessarily say class is dismissed, but if you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you are dismissed. Okay, we'll have the superintendent's report right now. So, Mr. Bystrad, if you want to give your report.
Sure, thank you. Just find my report here. Here we go. Thank you, Ms. Beers. I only have a couple of things, to be quite honest with you. Just once again, congratulations to all of our OSEP students and their graduates, and also to our retirees as well. I think we're getting some feedback here, too. I'm going to back off the microphone a little bit. Any chance we could just pull those doors up there? Just, thank you.
Yeah, throw them out of here.
So just a couple of things here too. We have a number of people that are up for appointment tonight. I just want to point out, normally when you have people, whether it's tenure or your permanent status, the people would quite often be here and maybe be introduced. It's just we were trying to kind of give priority to some of the retirees tonight and some of our OSEP students. So normally people would be here for that, but we don't have them here this evening for that. So that's a lot of feedback. So just briefly, so as I think everyone's aware by this point, New York State has updated their guidance on mask wearing. So outside, you do not have to wear, if you're in a school function, you do not have to wear masks anymore. That does include athletic events. We did send a communication out yesterday, and that's something that the Department of Health, the State Department of Health, actually issued their guidance late last night, and we're very clear about that. And also that masks still need to be worn indoors. So really the only change, and it's a substantial change, but is that we don't have to wear masks outside anymore. So I just wanted to be able to maybe clarify that for a few folks. I got an email or two just asking, so.
Yeah, don't mean to interrupt, but
Yep.
Can you just clarify, because I see it across the board, what is the district policy on mask breaks and water breaks, and also filling water bottles? Are all our water fountains
The water
on, or are
fountains,
they all off?
the
Like-
self-filling ones are on, not self-filling, but like the ones where you could, it's not like a regular
Right,
traditional.
not the one you put your mouth on, but
Yes,
the one you put your bottle
correct.
on?
Those are still working.
You still have access to sinks or something? If schools-
Absolutely.
do
Oh,
all the
absolutely.
schools have water fountains that fill?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, no, everybody has access to water. As far as mask breaks are concerned, we've really encouraged our teachers to take.
Apparently someone doesn't want us to discuss it.
I'm just going to say this loudly. Hopefully everybody can hear. Jeff, is this picking up on the microphone? Perfect. All right, fantastic. So mask breaks, we've got about 2 weeks left in the school year. We have really encouraged our teachers, our staff, to get the kids outside as much as possible. Take the masks off as long as you want to out there. The weather's supposed to cool off by the end of this week, and next week it's mostly in the low 70s, maybe mid 70s. So I think we'll be okay as far as that is concerned. So
Yeah, because everyone, while they're in class, teachers and kids have that mask on, and we are absolutely not allowed to have fans going, right? Is that still part of
the
the
fans
policy?
blow out. They have to blow out,
exhaust
which
out. Okay.
frankly, honestly, does a better job of cooling off a room anyway. We also have our air handlers open at 100% too, which continuously circulates the air, which also helps to cool things down a little bit.
I just
too.
want to get it out there
Yep.
under the official
Yep.
channel.
I'm sorry, Matt. And a lot of the teachers are giving kids a lot of the breaks to mask breaks, so.
Oh,
especially
absolutely.
this
Oh,
week.
I mean, but
Yeah.
teachers are allowed to have mask breaks
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, staff.
But especially this week because
Yeah.
it's so hot.
Yeah, I was just curious what what the clarification is. Like, is a like, do they stop class and everyone goes outside, or
Yeah,
are they just?
in many cases that's it, especially it being 3 feet apart too. So because there's still contact tracing at 6 feet, so it's
Right, yeah.
any mitigation you can put
I
into
mean,
place.
the list of different rules that are going on, but the fans, if we have fans, they exhaust out.
Mm-hmm.
Air handlers are on, mask breaks, and then we do have access to water.
Yes.
So we're doing everything we humanly can do to make this next 2 weeks bearable.
Correct. And if you look at the total number of days, there's a lot of half days mixed in there, or there's Wednesdays. So there's also exam days too. So the days that the kids have left in school are pretty limited at this point. So. The other thing I guess I just wanted to be able to point out too, so there's one of the things, we did a survey last week, and I did this in my last video, I'm not going to belabor the point, but we had done some surveys to our stakeholders and gotten some pretty good information. A lot of it, as I mentioned in my video, is anecdotal, so we're kind of sifting through that, but really some of the themes that really just kind of resonate from there. People, whether it's a teacher, a parent, have some concerns obviously about the academics for next year. I fully, honestly, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic and say the way things are moving, that I expect for next year to be a relatively traditional start to the school year in terms of 5 days a week in person. Some of the things, though, that we're going to be looking to be able to address, and you'll see some of the positions on this board agenda, would involve social emotional support, academic support, our IT, our ability to manage things from an IT standpoint. We're really trying to put some supports in place to be able to make sure that we're really hit the ground running with our kids coming to next year. And it's not an exhaustive list. And also, we're going to be looking at a lot of our facilities in the coming weeks and months, and some potential upgrades we can make, to benefit all of our school community. So I just look for more information to come out about that. But there's a number of positions right now on tonight's board agenda that are pretty responsive to a lot of the feedback that we got on our surveys as well. And in some cases, they really confirmed our suspicions. In other cases, we may have, kind of gone a different direction based on some feedback that we'd received, whether it be from the board or from, some of our stakeholders. So very helpful. And again, this is not a one and done sort of thing. This is going to continue to evolve. This federal money is going to be with us for a few years, and we're going to continue to evolve in terms of how it's utilized. So the one thing I guess I just want to be able to take a moment to just to recognize, we have 2 board members who have one more meeting with us, but I did just want to take a moment just to recognize Mary and Larry just for their service. Sometimes I hear board members joke about how they'll donate their paychecks back to the district. That's funny because there's no paycheck, yet quite a few hours that are spent in district. Mary, 24 years, I believe. Is that okay, that's right. See, and Larry, this is, with your first term here too, but it's about the level of commitment and impact that one person can make on a community, of 6,000 students. And again, it's that ripple effect. So many of the same sentiments that I expressed in terms of our retirees, I mean, you may not understand the impact that you have by showing up here. And if anybody's at home watching on TV, or not TV, maybe you're watching on TV, smart TV, but it's not just they show up for 2 meetings a month. There is so much work behind the scenes, so many phone calls, late night conversations, constantly being bombarded with emails from your annoying superintendent. Just one thing after another that comes up, fielding phone calls from parents, community members on any number of different issues. I just want to take a moment just to thank you both for your dedication and service to our district, and I mean that absolutely sincerely. Because again, over 6,000 students you have impacted the lives of, and you multiply that over the time that you've been here, it grows exponentially larger. So thank you very much. If we could just, the folks that are left with me, be a round of applause.
Thank you.
That's all I have for this evening for my report, Mrs. Beers.
Alrighty, I was going to say the same thing, but that's okay. You stole my thunder. But anyways, okay, so we have a number of, till the end of the year, we have a number of activities that are going on in the district that the board usually gets involved with. Tomorrow is the academy graduation, and it's going to be here at 5 o'clock. And then next week, the 15th, West Senior has their scholarship night. The 19th, the West Senior graduation is going to be held at 4 o'clock. That's going to be at the East football field. The 23rd is the East Senior graduation at 6:30. That's at the East Senior football field. There's, for the new board members, we have a new board member orientation where the vice president and I, Larry and I, are going to meet with the 2 new board members, and then they're going to meet with the superintendent and the rest of the staff to orient them to what they can expect, because it's never quite what you think it is. So we'll do that on the 28th. The 29th, we have our work session, and we'll hear from a couple of employees. And also, we will do Matt's evaluation, and the board will do their evaluation at that time. That will be done in executive session. And then to start off next year, July 6th is our reorganization meeting, and that's where we appoint everybody for the coming year, and we set our calendar and things like that. There's also this summer in August 10th and 12th, we have a law conference. And again, from the Times, this is going to be a virtual conference. So, and also I forgot to mention, Mrs. Pesha is excused this evening from attendance at the meeting. So I think that's all I have right
Ms.
now.
Barris, can I say one more
Yes.
thing? I apologize. I just also want to take a moment, too, to recognize our public relations coordinator, Mrs. Jen Flory. She's actually going to be leaving us at the end of this month. Some exciting new opportunities that she has on the water. I'll leave everybody in suspense on that one, but just want to thank you for your service to the district and wish you well and look forward to seeing you around. So thank you very much.
A lot of changes in the district, and let's see if we can find good replacements for those positions, because they are important to the district.
Thanks.
Okay, for this assistant superintendents, are you giving reports tonight? Okay, Dr. Cervoni, if you want to come up and tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods.
I don't think there's a mic there, but
No.
viewers at home. Thank you so much. I just certainly congratulations and recognition to our graduates. Really impressive. It's great to see our students here. And being involved in that program in my career in the past, it's really powerful and such a great thing that we offer for our district. I've been very busy. This is a very busy time of year, working very collaboratively with Will, Jackie, and Carm and Matt in reviewing some of our survey results, trying to make plans so we're effective and productive this summer and preparing for a great start to the school year, use some of our federal monies appropriately, and I know our board has been really involved in that. Another item that is, I wanted to thank our HR team that I know was here and helping. It's a very busy time of year with transfers and handling. You saw the list of retirements. So it has been busy and it will continue to be a very busy time of year to try to replace such expertise out there and in collaboration with our principals and our directors and all of our staff here. So we'll be running and continue doing it, but it's certainly an exciting time. As far as this summer, we're going to continue to look at our enrollment trends and make sure that our staffing is appropriately, that our class sizes are good, and kind of continue, as Matt suggested, looking at some of these opportunities that have been given to us through the federal government, and making sure that we have the best school year to date for 21-22. So I believe that's all I have for now. Thank you. And Ms. Fowler?
Thanks, Dr. Savoni. Just to reiterate some of the things that Dr. Savoni alluded to, our office on the PPS side is very integral in the enrollment and in the registration process. So we are working through that continuously, looking at students who might be moving from charter schools or private and parochial schools, whether they're coming back to the district or continuing in that environment. Also looking at our students who are homeschooled by parent, and if those are going to be continuing, following up with them currently in regards to their reports and making sure everything is filed appropriately, and if they want to come back, re-registering them in the district, because that does greatly impact enrollment and staffing trends. We continue to wrap up the CSE process, and that also has an integral part in everything that we do in terms of staffing and supports and services, and where students will be receiving those services, how they will be receiving those services, who will be providing those services, and really looking carefully at that. Also continuing to work, as Dr. Cervoni said, as a team to really look at how we can support our students upon the return, whether that's from a social, emotional, behavioral perspective, like Mr. Bystrak mentioned. As you can see on the agenda tonight, there are some specific personnel that are targeted for that support, including PPS providers, social workers, school psychologists. That in everything that you hear and read, that is something that we want to be prepared for and be able to support students and families and our community upon our return in the most typical manner that we can hope for in the fall. Also, just continuing to look at all of our students, where they're currently placed, where those placements will be for the fall, if they're in district or if they're out of district. That's also important, because this is the time where, as we all know, places shuffle where programs are located, so we want to make sure of that. And continuing to collaborate with our BOCES colleague, as we are a host site for the extended school year program. And that's something that we're really excited about, because it is in person and it's back on campus at West Middle School this year. And we want to make sure that we are in collaboration with BOCES to make sure they have everything they need, and our staff is fully aware of the logistics of that program as well. So those are some of the things happening in the PPS and special ed world. Mrs. Persico?
Good evening. We've been continuing to work on many of the things that Dr. Cervoni and Mrs. Fowler already mentioned, collaborating to take a look at the funds and how we can most appropriately use those to help move our students forward. I am happy to say that this week as well, we have our inaugural class for the Seal of Biliteracy, making their presentations to the advisory board. So we should know by the end of the week how many of our students have been successful in their efforts. I have a good feeling that they all will be successful in that. So we wish them all the best as they prepare to do those presentations. We recently also were notified that both of our high schools were selected for the pilot program of the Seal of Civic Readiness for Social Studies. So we're really excited about this opportunity. It was a very small window of schools that were chosen across the state, and we were fortunate enough to have both of our high schools selected. So we thank all the teachers, our director, John Delbo, for all their work and future work in this endeavor. We are planning to implement at the middle school level a learning lab that will focus both on math and English language arts. This is in an effort to help us with our designation of targeted support and improvement schools for the middle level. And this particular lab will help address all student learning levels, run the whole gamut of students, so those who are in need of extra assistance to also those who excel and may be able to provide some support to students in peer tutoring, for example, that would take place after school. So we're excited about that plan to move forward with that. Additionally, big and exciting, I think, for us as a district is really having a laser-like focus with the literacy push that we have been working on for years. And so over the summer, we will work to have a leadership summit where we bring in a renowned speaker. Her name is Sue Sakowitz, who was a former high school principal in Boston, and she really turned that school around. They were one of the lowest performing schools. They were on the verge of being closed down, and she turned them around by simply sticking to literacy strategies and infusing those across all disciplines, across all grade levels in the high school. So she's going to come and speak to our leadership team this summer. And then moving forward, we will have a district literacy committee that really is a driving force behind building literacy committees, that we will be implementing strategies that are research-based and proven to have successful achievement for students. So really excited about this opportunity, and we will be providing more information to you as it becomes available. So thank you.
Thank you very much. A lot of great things going on in the district, planning for hopefully a normal return in September. Okay, and to get ready for, for the public comment, because we received no questions on the BOE questions, and we don't have the public here because we had all the retirees here today, we will not have the public comments right now. Okay,
I'm sorry to interrupt about that. Is this something maybe we can consider next year? Maybe doing, actually, let's hope that we won't have a limit next year, right?
Yeah.
But if we do, can we consider maybe doing the first half and the second half or something? Because clearly...
We could, but I mean, the retirees this year were twice as many as normal because we had last year's and this year's. So if we just have the normal number, we probably could have the public also.
Yeah, I just...
Yeah. That just compounded it this year.
So maybe we could do like even it's nice to go hang out with them afterward and see them and stuff where we're having our meeting and they're having fun.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do like a first
you not
hour,
having fun?
Yeah,
second hour.
We discussed that during the reorganization meeting.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Because it's our meeting, so we can do whatever we want. Whatever we want. Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay.
Thank you.
6 for personnel. We have to have a separate vote for this. We've got quite a few positions for remedial reading, 3 special ed teachers, 3 mathematic teachers, 2 English teachers, 2 school psychologists, and 2 school social workers. And it seems like a lot of positions that we're putting on right now, but this is the special funding that we have received, and it needs to be used for remediation. So that's for the CRRSA and the ARP funding. So that's where the majority of those positions are coming from. I think there's only 1 position there that is not coming from that funding. So,
I'll move on it.
So can I have a vote? Okay, Mrs. Bussey, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Was that Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
No.
Larry.
Oh, Larry. Okay. Any discussion on those? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried 6-0. Okay, thank you. Yeah, with this lineup, it's hard to hear which people are giving the motions. Okay, and then we have some certified resignations. Some of these people were honored tonight already. A couple teachers resigned, some leave of absences, tenure positions. They have successfully completed their probationary and they're up for tenure. Certified appointments. So up to 7. Can I have a motion to accept those?
I'll move.
Okay, Peter, and can I have a second?
I'll second.
Larry, and any discussion on those? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Carried 6-0. Okay, so then we're going to abolish some positions. There's a television technician position that is going to be abolished, but we're going to then create a position in IT for that. And then there's 5 part-time cleaning positions that we're going to abolish, but those are going to become 2 full-time positions because it's hard to find part-time cleaning staff. So can I have a motion to accept 7A?
So moved.
Mary, and can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Ed, any question about those? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, carried 6-0. Okay, so then we're going to create some positions for those that are, some of those that are, have been abolished. Again, a number of these positions are from the special funding that we're getting from the state and the federal government, and they have to be used for specific things. And our finance department has been working very closely with our assistant superintendents and our superintendent to figure out exactly how we need to spend that money to get the most bang for our buck on those. So we have 6 computer positions, 1 mechanic, 1 Microsoft decision support specialist, and 2 cleaners, and then some student assistants. So we need a separate vote for this. Can I have a motion?
I'll move on it.
Okay, Mary, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Peter, any discussion?
Why aren't the amounts listed? Don't we generally vote on the salary amounts for the position or not?
I'm assuming those amounts are in the contract?
Yeah, they're just contractual.
They're contract, okay, for each one. Okay.
They're all contractual.
What about even the new ones?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I just wondered why,
Yep.
we didn't know how much we were going to be paying out for these new
Yeah,
positions.
I don't think we normally put salaries down, do we?
No.
Not when creating a position. There is one new position here, Mrs. Belvo, but it is in line with a very similar, the MDSS is the same as our MCTSS.
Okay.
It's just a different area of focus, so, and it's all directly in line with that. There's actually an agreement later in the agenda that introduces that position under the same rate that exists in the contract.
Okay, so the name is just different, but it's the same as the contract. I just was curious why we didn't know what we were going to do. Okay.
Okay, any other questions,
How much-
any
how
other
much
money-
money- How much money did we get for the government on this special, or approximately, for these? 13.5? Okay, yeah, okay. I just want to make sure we get
So
paid
they're,
the people.
trying to see what from the regular budget we can, use for that to save ourselves some, little extra money, so. yeah.
Diane, I'd like to make a comment. I'm glad to see that we're hiring these positions, but we're going to full-time cleaners because now we'll get some good applicants.
Yes, right, yeah. It's
Happy
tough to
see
find
that.
part-time cleaners, so,
Well, it's hard
you know.
because you can't raise a family on part-time
No.
and there's no benefits. Now they'll have benefits. So I'm glad to see that.
Ms. Bussey, I will also say that we are also advertising to our students upon graduation, met with Mr. Earl and Mr. Merkel. I know that's something we're pushing for opportunities as substitutes, Ms.
Right.
Ferris said, for our retirees, but also for our students. We do still have part-time jobs, then maybe graduating, looking for work in our district, so.
Perfect. Perfect, thank you.
I just want to say my initial concern is what happens when we don't get that money.
Well, the finance department is very diligently saying, okay, we're going to put this in, and I'm sure they're going to let the people who are in those positions know
Yeah.
that, you know, it might not be a 20-year position, but, you know.
If I can speak from my understanding of it, and I think Matt grabbed the mic, so he's probably going to go with. My understanding is, Jan, that we're getting some needs met now because of COVID, and as it goes on, we're going to see what works and doesn't work. And 3 years from now, 2.5 years from now, we'll start making decisions whether positions are worth keeping, whether we want to eliminate them or change them. That's the way I understand it. That's why I'm supporting it.
Yeah.
I also understand that we're not getting all the money at once. We're getting it over a period of time. We have 3 years to spend the money, so, you know, we're not going to blow it all now. But it's nice to get these positions filled to help the kids. Matt, am I correct in that, or?
Yeah, basically.
Okay,
And I mean,
that's why I'm supporting this big
you
time.
kind of assess, you know, about a year and a half in, you start looking and saying, all right, you know, first of all, how is what we're doing working right now? And then the other side of it is, you know, you will realize some savings through attrition. You start looking at a revenue picture as well. You know, I mean, it involves a little bit of creative work and being able to move some money around. But ultimately speaking, we know that, you know, we're adding a substantial number of folks. But then you start saying to yourself, you know, well, if this is really working well, does this replace that? You know what I mean? So it's going to be an ongoing dialogue and conversation.
Yeah, it really will be. I just was concerned, you know, I'm approving it, of course, but I was just concerned when the money isn't coming back then from the federal. I know how they work.
Well, Matt, when we talked about this,
what do we do? Yeah.
when we talked about this earlier, or for a year and a half, we've been really assessing, and really this money has fallen into our hands because we were really implementing a lot of these programs, and now this money is going to pay for it. And I think we had the vision to see this coming and what we needed, some of the AIS and the readers. So it was a blessing. Now, like what we've talked about, what we will assess it, see where we are, and hopefully this will really push us into the right direction. But I think we were even, like I said, we had this planned with our budget. So this is definitely something that we can, you know, do a lot more with.
Well, we had asked for no increases in a lot, you know, in a lot of the salaries, and it came along, no increase this year. We were trying to be so careful with our finances. So this, I know this is nice. I just am hoping that, you know, we can adjust to it so the taxpayer doesn't get slammed. You know.
So you're making a valid point. It really, that's something that's really got to be in the forefront of our minds. And frankly, we can only increase, you know, up to the tax cap without having to, you know, to have a supermajority vote basically to go over it. So, you know, ultimately we're going to be constrained by that anyway. So that's why, you know, we're taking all of these, we looked at every single position from a very calculated standpoint to say, okay, you know, like for instance, you know, if you're looking at elementary, you know, things that are supporting elementaries, well, you know, in elementary teachers, there's a lot of them, you know what I mean? And you can see, you may have retirements and you know, and things like that, or be able to repurpose how you're utilizing some of your staff as well, too. So, Jan, your point is absolutely valid and something that we really have to keep focused on.
It's just a matter of watching.
We just wouldn't want to pass up the money, that's all.
Yeah, oh, definitely not. If they're giving it, you got to use it. Okay, any other discussion on that? Okay, can I have a vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, carried 6-0. All right, then we have some certified resignation. We have 8 retirees, 1 resignation, classified unpaid leaves of absence, classified appointments, permanent appointments, personnel. And a lot of the personnel is for summer positions, mentor positions, the before and after school community ed, all the community ed positions for the upcoming year, coaching positions, for the musical positions, preferred building subs, can always use more subs, for the cleaners that we that we've added tonight, activity advisors, and there'll be more of these coming up, the digital learning, credit recovery, ESL, ENL, elementary summer school learning camp, which we're using some of the funding for, home instruction appointments, and then we have the reports. The minutes, excuse me, the minutes of financial reports, and then a couple date changes. So maybe we'll do up to the end of 9. Can I have a motion to accept those?
So moved.
Okay, Mary, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Jan, any discussion on any of those? I know it seems like we're going through these fast, but the board members have looked through these previously, so they've scrutinized them and sent any questions to the superintendent, so. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 6-0. Okay, then we had a work session, which for some reason we had originally scheduled 2 in June because we didn't know if we would need it, but we're canceling 1, and then we're moving 1 from the 28th to the 29th. Also, we have a textbook adoption, and there's a copy of it here. If anybody wants to take it home and read it, you're welcome to look at it. We have a couple trips, a couple MOAs, and I don't think we have to do those separately. No. Okay. So we have, the Bel Canto singers are going to Florida. We have an MOA. There was an arbitration that was settled for CSEA. There's a new position that we have an MOA for the CSEA. The CSEA Summer Learning Program clerical staff. For the teachers union, the senior biliteracy club is being formed. At West Senior, a songwriting club is being formed. We're going to approve the MOA for the summer learning program staff. For the WSSDA, the Chief Microsoft Technical Support Specialist, we have an MOA for that. And then we have the bids for the capital improvement projects and the district accesses revenue, the school lunch budget, the internal revenue report, bids. We have a donation of $500 from the E-Senior Trojan Nation to the class of 2021 for their senior breakfast. The capital outlay project is being approved, the site contract for the capital improvement, general trades bid for smart school bond, mechanical contract bid for smart school bond, electrical contract bid for the smart school bond, cabling for the contract for the smart school bond, and the roofing contract for that bond.
Diane, can we just approve down to J for now?
To J.
Summer Learning Program teaching staff?
Through 10J, right?
Yeah.
10J?
You wanna-
10J?
You want to just go to there?
I can't hear, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Do you want to move just to there?
Just the J.
I'll make a motion.
Well, did you already make a motion?
No, there was no motion.
No,
motion? Okay,
I just, I asked for, Peter asked the question before
Okay.
the
So I'll
motion.
move all the way to J.
Okay, including J or just up to J?
Including J.
Okay, so including J. Okay, and so, any discussion on any of that up to that point? Okay,
I'll second her motion.
okay. All right, Ed, seconded, forgot about that. Okay, and no discussion, and so can I have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Carried 6-0. Okay, and then for
The rest of it?
Well,
K, is there something special you wanted to talk about?
Is there need, well, can we just do K?
Okay,
Just individually?
I'll move on K.
okay, can I have a
Because
second?
we wanted to get to, yeah.
Okay, Mary moved and Peter seconded, and any discussion? Okay, no discussion, can I have,
So here's where I get to a question that I have. I have a few things I want to discuss about it, but it doesn't change my vote. So is there an executive at the end where I can ask these questions, or do we need to, do we have to go now, or I don't understand legally how this all works now. I've got
guess
some
it-
questions that maybe can't be answered publicly, but I don't even know, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Why
So
don't you-
instead of us going to executive, having my questions answered, it will not affect my vote. There's some things I'm confused on and some questions I want to get answered.
I would move on going into executive session.
I'll second.
Okay?
Okay, so we're going into executive session. Not sure where we're going to go,
Yeah,
but,
that's, I didn't know if,
oh, okay, what's the reason you want to go into executive session?
so Mary, you made the motion.
For a particular contract? Yes. Okay, that.
Can we do it for more than one? Mary?
What do you want to,
I got a couple questions about the 10-year stuff. Again, it didn't affect my vote, so I was going to wait till the end to ask. I just don't know legally what I'm allowed to
right.
ask publicly, so
employment history of
do you mind just doing it for
person.
both?
Okay, so we're going to go into executive session for employment history of a particular person.
Contract, yeah.
Okay, and collective negotiation pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law.
Right, do
Okay.
we have- Aye. No, you got to vote, yeah.
Okay, can I have a vote to go into executive session?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 6-0.
Where do you want us to go?
We could probably go to the library.
Library?
Yeah.
Jane, I think we had a motion on it, right? And then we made the motion to go into executive. So the motion was already.
Okay, so what motion did we make and what did we,
I made the motion to approve it.
to approve what?
The
K?
rest of the agenda that you went
Oh, the rest of the
through.
agenda, okay.
Yeah, up to,
Including J?
yeah, everywhere, all the way through. A second, yes, no, J, I did that
J's
one,
been
that was separate. Then we made,
Okay.
I made a motion for K, me and Peter, and then we made the motion go into executive because there was questions. So that
Okay.
is, that motion's been already made, you just have to get a vote.
So we go through K all the way through. wherever
All the
we're
way.
For
So
K
that's-
all the way
Well,
through.
and I think you read all the way up to.
I did, yeah,
I
for
thought the
the,
last one was
Financial.
W.
Right, all the way up to the financial reports?
Well,
I read the roofing,
yeah, you stopped that
Yeah.
cabling.
Do we have to do K on its own?
No.
No.
okay, so we're through,
11.
yeah, up to 11.
But when you stopped reading at W, cabling. You
Well,
didn't
she-
get into
Okay,
She
because,
said
yeah, because
roofing.
then there was a question.
Right.
Okay, so we also have,
Do you want me to amend it all the way through?
Yeah,
the rest of
could
the-
you?
All right,
Yeah.
to German, okay.
okay, so we're approving the rest of the budget, the rest of the agenda, all the rest of the agenda, right? Okay, can I have a motion for that?
I already did. Me and
Okay, Mary made a motion, do we have a second?
I'll
Peter
second.
seconded.
Peter did.
Okay, Peter seconded. Any discussion? Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, anything else that anybody needs to discuss? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Mary will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
And Jan will second. And so can I have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carried 6-0. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
Have a good night,
And,
everyone.
We'll see everybody. Okay.